Imagine going to sleep feeling safe, confident, and sure your family is okay, then waking up the next morning to discover everything you had disappeared overnight. No war broke out, no enemy attacked, and no natural disaster destroyed cities. Money simply vanished, jobs disappeared, and families were suddenly left with nothing. That moment is what people later called the Great Depression, and surprisingly, it did not begin with people being poor or desperate. It began during a time when people felt richer than ever before. So to understand what went wrong, we need to rewind the story first. It is the early 1920s, and the First World War has finally ended. Soldiers return home, factories change focus, and the country exhales together. Instead of tanks and weapons, factories now produce cars, radios, and home appliances. Cities begin growing upward, outward, and brighter with electric lights everywhere. Music fills the streets, especially jazz, loud and exciting and impossible to ignore. America feels alive, modern, and full of unstoppable energy and confidence. People look around and genuinely believe the hard times are finally over forever. The economy seems strong, fast, and powerful, like an engine running perfectly. Factories begin producing goods faster than anyone thought possible before. A man named Henry Ford improves factory work using moving assembly lines. Workers stay in one place while parts move, making production incredibly fast. Cars that once took an entire day to build now take about 90 minutes. Cars flood city streets, gas stations spread quickly, and travel becomes easier. Industries connected to cars, steel, oil, rubber, grow rapidly alongside them. More factories mean more jobs, more paychecks, and more confidence everywhere. America is not just growing during this time, it is showing off proudly. New inventions enter everyday life and quickly become symbols of success. Radios are the most exciting new gadget anyone could possibly own. Families gather at night listening to music, stories, and advertisements together. By the end of the decade, millions of homes proudly own at least one radio. Voices, songs, and laughter travel invisibly through the air into living rooms. Life feels modern, connected, and exciting in ways never experienced before. People start believing that progress will simply continue without limits or consequences. That belief turns out to be dangerously wrong. While cities celebrate, life in rural America looks very different. Farmers had earned good money during the war selling food overseas. After the war ends, demand for food drops sharply and prices collapse. Farmers try to survive by buying new machines to grow more crops. They borrow money to buy tractors, hoping higher production saves them. Instead, more food only pushes prices even lower, deepening their debt. Quietly, farmers sink further into trouble while cities continue celebrating. Back in the cities, another risky habit becomes extremely popular. People begin buying things even when they do not have enough money. Stores and banks encourage paying small amounts now and more later. Cars, furniture, radios, and appliances are all purchased this way. This borrowing feels harmless because everyone expects future success. As long as people keep buying and earning, nobody feels worried yet. Banks happily hand out loans, believing the good times will never stop. Then comes the stock market, which becomes the biggest obsession of all. The stock market lets people buy small pieces of companies. If companies succeed, those pieces become more valuable over time. During the 1920s, stock prices rise quickly and almost constantly. People hear stories of neighbors becoming rich almost overnight. Office workers, teachers, and shopkeepers all want a piece of success. Many lack money to invest, so banks offer loans instead. You put down $10 and borrow 90 more to buy stocks. If prices rise, you sell, repay the loan, and keep profit. It sounds easy, smart, and nearly risk-free to most people. Very few people stop to ask what happens if prices fall. Most believe stocks can only go up forever. Even people who know little about business give investment advice confidently. When everyone suddenly believes they are a financial expert, danger is near. Some experts warn that prices no longer match real company value. They are ignored, mocked, or dismissed as jealous and outdated thinkers. The music is loud, profits look easy, and optimism drowns out caution. Then October 1929 arrives and the music abruptly stops playing. Stock prices begin falling, slowly at first, then faster and faster. Panic spreads as investors rush to sell before losing everything. Banks call borrowers demanding their money back immediately. People try selling stocks, but prices keep dropping rapidly. The selling causes more panic, which causes even more selling. It becomes a race to escape a collapsing building. By the end of the day, billions of dollars simply vanish. Wealth is erased, not stolen, destroyed, or hidden anywhere. People gather outside stock exchanges in silence, shock, and disbelief. America did not stumble during this moment. It fell hard, fast, and painfully. Unfortunately, the crash itself is only the beginning of suffering. Because stocks were bought with borrowed money, loans go unpaid. Banks used people's savings to make those risky loans. When loans fail, banks suddenly lack enough cash to survive. Banks begin closing their doors across the country. News spreads quickly, causing fear and mass panic everywhere. People rush to banks demanding their savings immediately. The money is gone. Savings vanish. Lifetimes of work disappear overnight. Thousands of banks fail within just a few years. Businesses cannot borrow money and begin shutting down. Factories slow production, then close entirely. Workers lose jobs at terrifying speed. Unemployment skyrockets to levels never seen before. 1 out of every 4 workers cannot find a job. Families lose income and hope all at once. Breadlines appear in cities across the nation. Long, silent lines of hungry people waiting for food. Men who once worked full-time now hold empty bowls. Children faint in school because they have not eaten properly. Parents skip meals so their children can survive. Hunger becomes normal, constant, and deeply humiliating. Then nature itself adds another cruel blow. Years of poor farming practices leave soil weak and dry. A massive drought hits the Great Plains. Strong winds lift soil into enormous dust storms. The sky turns dark in the middle of the day. Homes fill with dust, crops die, and animals suffocate. Families abandon farms and drive west searching for work. Many find disappointment instead of opportunity. Through all this, the government responds slowly and cautiously. The president believes helping too much will weaken personal responsibility. Relief programs remain small, while suffering continues growing. People lose faith in leadership and institutions. Anger spreads across the country. Veterans march to Washington demanding promised payments. They are forcefully removed, shocking the nation deeply. Crime rises as desperation grows stronger. Some criminals become folk heroes in the public imagination. People are not celebrating crime. They are expressing anger at broken systems. America is no longer just struggling financially. It feels emotionally and morally exhausted. Yet people continue surviving because survival is the only option. They migrate, wait in lines, and support one another quietly. Then in 1933, a new president takes office. Franklin Delano Roosevelt speaks directly to frightened Americans. He says fear itself is the greatest enemy they face. His words offer calm, not miracles, but reassurance. Action follows quickly after words. Jobs programs put millions to work building roads and bridges. Young men plant trees, dig soil, and construct dams. Pay is small, but dignity returns to many families. Electricity reaches rural towns for the first time. Lights turn on where darkness once ruled. People feel connected again to a future worth imagining. New rules protect banks and savings. The government guarantees deposits so panic does not repeat. The stock market receives oversight to prevent reckless gambling. Programs support the elderly and vulnerable. Artists, writers, and photographers are hired to record the era. The nation remembers its pain instead of hiding it. Recovery does not happen quickly or easily. The economy improves slowly, carefully, step by step. Factories reopen, music returns, and hope cautiously grows. The Great Depression does not end with celebration or fireworks. It ends with work, rules, patience, and hard-earned lessons. America fell apart. Then piece by piece, it rebuilt itself. And just as the country stood again, the world moved toward another storm waiting ahead. Something darker, louder, global. And this time, the whole world would feel it. But that is a different story entirely. The Great Depression reminds us how fast things can fall apart. It also shows how people endure and rebuild when everything is lost. History is not just about numbers or dates. It is about ordinary people surviving moments they never expected to face. If this story helped you understand the Great Depression more clearly, like the video so more people can learn history without falling asleep. Subscribe for more stories explained simply and without boring textbooks. And remember, understanding the past helps us recognize danger before it returns.